The CBC's Jason Warwick has been sitting through today's testimony at the inquest in Melfort, and he joins us now. Jason, I cannot imagine how difficult today was for those in attendance. What can you tell us about today?
Sam, the families affected had to sit through a minute-by-minute chronology of that fateful day, September 4th, 2022, the day that 11 people were stabbed to death and 17 others injured. RCMP Constable Robin Zentner of the Major Crimes Unit was the only witness today. He laid out the exact chronology of that day, and without going into too much detail, it was extremely graphic. He talked about the 911 calls, which were also played for the very first time when you heard people crying for help and begging the RCMP to get there. They played videos of the RCMP responding, the dash cams, which showed the cars reaching speeds of 170 kilometers an hour as they rushed to try and help in the community. They also included a lot of the grisly crime scene photos. And at one point, before they actually showed some very graphic detail, Coroner's Counsel Timothy Howrluck paused the inquest to ask if anyone wanted to leave the room or cover their eyes because it was so traumatic. It was so difficult for the families that with 20 minutes to go before the lunch break, Coroner Blaine Bevan stopped the proceedings because he said he could see the heavy emotional toll this was taking on everyone. And again, many of these details had been released by RCMP previously at an event right here earlier last year. But it's just the level of extreme detail that was released today that made it so difficult for many of these families. Many of the families said they did want these kinds of answers. They wanted these kinds of details, but they said that didn't make it any easier. Of course, only a couple dozen of family members attended today. Many people chose not to attend. Those who were here were supported and did make use of the elders and mental health support workers that took them into private rooms off the main auditorium. Others were very emotional when they were in the hallways or outside. It's been an extremely difficult day for people, but again, mixed feelings here. Some say that this is just re-traumatizing the community for no reason. Others are hoping that over this 2 or 3 weeks, there will be some good that comes out of this and some lessons that can be learned to make things better in the future.
Jason, now that we've been through the timeline, what can we expect moving forward through this inquest?
Well, the basic chronology has been established now. And so tomorrow, for example, it's expected that the first 2 responding officers, those ones who we saw the video of their vehicle driving to respond first in the community, they're expected to testify. And we got a bit of detail about what they saw and heard and experienced when they came into the community, when they tried to simultaneously treat wounded victims and search for a fugitive. And at that point, they were going on very, very little information. They had no idea of the scope of what this would become. Miles Sanderson, the killer, moved very, very quickly to many, many different locations. So we're going to hear what those officers experienced. We're also going to hear from emergency responders, other family members, and others among these 30 witnesses that are expected in the next 2 to 3 weeks, Sam.
Thanks for this, Jason. Take care.